new guest here. Jodie, thank you for joining me today. And for those who might not know me, I'm Marguerite Fair, and this is Laughter Talks, and this is my guest, Jodie Carn, and we're going to have you. Well, I hope you're glad to be here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, I'd like to make this known. Nobody forced you to be on this show. Is that correct?
Oh, I had somebody come up to the door with a knife and said I had to.
Oh, you weren't supposed to say that out loud. Okay. You didn't hear that, people.
No.
Now we want them to know right out of the gate why this is called Laughter Talks. We've got to shake people up.
That's right.
What I want to do now, Jodie, is let me introduce you to everyone so they know what a wonderful show we're going to have today. Now, my guest today, everybody, is the lovely and talented actress, Jodie Carn, and she's also a TV host. And our show today is actually called Memories of Hollywood with Jodie Carn. Now, Jodie was born and raised in show business. Her mother was Dona Massin. Am I pronouncing that, or is it Massin?
Mason.
Mason. You know, There's only two choices. I always have to do the wrong one first. Dona Massin, who was the choreographer for the film The Wizard of Oz, plus over 100 other films. And I thank you for the pictures you sent of your mom. I'll probably put one up right now. She was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So from a young age, Jodie was smitten and startled and started her love affair with Hollywood. That's what it sounds like to me. At a young age, she went into modeling and studied acting, dancing, and singing. And she studied at the Desilu Studios and was put on contract. I know there's a story there I want to hear about. She danced with the Wink Martindale Dance Party and danced backup for the Ronettes, and one of my favorite groups, and recorded 3 songs back in the early 60s. You were really right in it. You're the thick of it. And she hosted 3 interview shows, the most recent being LA and Jodie in Malibu. And she is planning on getting this up on Zoom. So we want you to do that. Then you can have me as a guest, Jodie.
I absolutely will. Absolutely.
Welcome, Jodie. Thank you for being here. And right out of the gate, I just have to tell you, I love the people you've mentioned, the pictures you post, like Fred Astaire and all these old timies like Gene Kelly. I have to ask you right out of this gate, did you meet Fred Astaire?
Absolutely.
Tell me about Fred Astaire. Tell me.
Well, my mom talked about him forever, and I didn't meet him until later in life. I was working at the time at St. John's Hospital in Santa Monica, and he came in with his mother because she was going to have hip surgery. So I went up to him and I said, Mr. Astaire, I said, I've always wanted to meet you. My mother, Dona Massin, worked with you.
Oh.
He twirled me around. He said, to your mother, she was fantastic.
Oh,
yeah. He couldn't have been nicer.
Oh my God, that you actually met him like that. So now I'm meeting him vicariously through you.
Yes.
Wow. And that was wonderful that he remembered her and everything. So tell me more about, you started this very young in life. So what spurred this journey? What was your first thought that you can remember that you said, I've got to do this, and take us on the steps of what you were doing?
Well, when I was a very young child, my parents would take me to nice restaurants. And all I did is I walked around and I sang to everybody at the tables and I tried to dance. I mean, it was in my blood, no doubt about it. That's all I thought about. I remember when I was about, 9 or 10 years old, when most kids want to have fun, go to the beach. In the summer, my parents had to take me to Warner Brothers. And remember Sugarfoot, that show?
Oh, yes.
Every Sunday, I sat there all day long watching them tape.
Wow.
I mean, it was just in my blood.
Yeah. That must have been
my mother, this is what I want to do.
Oh my God, that must have been like so intensely exciting. I can only imagine. I'm the person on the East Coast at the time living, watching all these big, wonderful things. And when you live on the opposite coast and you're not privy to all this, it's like just magic. You just only know what you're seeing in front of you, so that you really I did mention that you were signed with Desilu Studios. Please take us on that journey. What went on there?
Well, I was 16 years old and I wanted to study drama, and I found out that you had to audition. So I auditioned. I was the youngest one in the class, and then they signed me. And I was there for, oh, probably a couple of years. I would go there every Saturday and study the method acting.
Mhm.
Started at 10 in the morning, got out at about 2, and came home in the character that I was.
And
My
torture
parents
your
would say, oh
parents.
no, the method. Oh no.
Was your mother wondering who it was who walked in the door?
Yes, they just shook their head, you know. I was in another world. What can I say?
But did your mom support this? I know a lot of times parents don't want, but did she support this?
Yes, because she knew that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it since I was a kid. I remember I wanted to try out for the Mickey Mouse Club, and my mother knew the director and producer Sidney Miller, so she called him to get me in an interview.
Mhm.
Fortunately, they were done. They weren't
Oh,
anymore. But the good thing is I became very good friends with all the Mouseketeers.
oh, how wonderful. Did you know Annette?
I only met Annette several times. My close friend was Doreen.
Oh, I remember Doreen.
Yeah, and Tommy Cole, a very good
Oh,
friend,
yeah.
and Lonnie Burr, and Cubby O'Brien was our student body president at Hollywood Professional School.
Wow. Now, what was it like for you meeting these people and then you would sit down and watch the show? What kind of feeling was that like?
Yeah, well, when I met some of the Mouseketeers, it was back when I was in high school, and we were all doing the same type of thing. But I would tell them, I used to watch you all the time when I was a kid. And what's so funny is I remember going to Disneyland and getting Doreen's autograph. And it turns out that years, when we grew up, we were best of friends until the day she passed away.
Wow. Yeah, life does take us down a whole journey. Now, another name that comes to mind is Gene Kelly. Did you get to meet Gene Kelly?
I did meet Jane Kelly. My mother absolutely loved him. In fact, the last thing she did with him, she went to his birthday party.
Really? What did she say? Did she tell you any stories about it?
She loved Gene, because I always asked her, who was your favorite dancers? And, Eleanor Powell was, oh, she just loved Eleanor Powell,
Wow.
with all of them. But um, I think, yeah, Eleanor's, and it was one of the best ones she liked. Ann Miller, and
Wow. Oh, she was a
I knew
fluid
her.
dancer.
Yeah,
Wow. What was she like?
very nice,
Yeah.
very nice.
Oh my gosh, she was always so glamorous too. I mean, she made dancing so effortless. Oh, let me ask you this one now. Did you ever meet James Cagney? Or did your mom
No,
turn?
no, I never met James Kagner, but I do believe my mom worked with him.
She did work with him. My favorite, for some reason, as I recall it, my two favorite stars, like, because, again, I'm on the East Coast and these are stars, were actually, it was Fred Astaire and James Cagney. And I always thought, wow, I love the dancer and I love the rough guy, who is also a dancer. But I thought, what
Yeah.
a completely opposite type of man I was attracted to. Again, I'm a dancer.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, when you were in Desilu Studios, did you ever meet Desi or Lucy?
No, I didn't. But my mother was very close friends with Lucille Ball, and they were out to lunch one day, and she saw Desi, and she looked at my mother and she said, "That man over there, I'm going to marry." And my mother and she went out, and Lucille Ball bought her this ring. This is a topaz.
Oh, wow.
That was a gift to my mother from Lucille.
How exciting because that she was actually right there and said, I'm going to marry that man. I understand
Yeah.
he was very handsome.
Oh, very.
Good
Yes.
Lord. I love a Latin man that's good looking. Oh,
And my mom was saying when she met Lucille, she had blonde hair. She was a showgirl. And my mom looked at her, so she was hysterically funny. And she said, "You're going to be a star." Lucille said, "No, I'm not going to be a star." My mom said,
wow. Wow, she could tell. Well, that Lucille Ball, I mean, though I think that we all grew up watching, I Love Lucy.
"Oh, yes."
That's just the most classic, best show that was ever put out. I mean, I know there's a lot of nice things that came out, but nothing could ever touch that because it was just so amazing. And what a way to grow up, just going into their apartment every week. I love that. Who would you say now, when you were younger? Who did you meet that had the biggest impact on you from the industry?
Sammy Davis Jr.
Really? Tell us about
Yeah,
that.
because my mom used to call him Mr. Show Business. And when I was about 9 years old, my parents took me to the Huntington Hartford in Hollywood to see him. And then I saw him later, when, I think it was in Vegas. And then we went to a luncheon at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel and he sat with us. So I talked to him for hours. And I
Wow.
said to him, "It is an honor to meet you." I said, "This is my mother." And I said, "You are Mr. Show Business." And he was so nice. And I said, "Who do you think is the greatest entertainer of today, other than yourself?" He said, "Michael Jackson."
Oh, wow. He just
Yeah.
appreciated that talent of Michael's.
So I was lucky to have lunch with him for 3 hours. He sat right next to me. He's wonderful.
Wow, what a memory.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to meet Michael Jackson or?
No, but this is very interesting. He sent a letter to my mother and wanted an autographed picture of her because he was playing in the Wiz and he wanted to have a picture, but we never met him.
Oh, and speaking about your mom, I noticed that I know she's a choreographer, but she looked like an now did she do acting because she looked like a real Hollywood actress.
Well, it's so strange. When Mervyn LeRoy called her in and he said, "I want to make you a star. You have everything going for you." And she turned it down.
Really, she didn't want
She
it.
was happy being a choreographer. She liked going to the studio. She liked teaching. She just wasn't into the acting.
Wow. It's a
She's just the
beautiful,
opposite of me. I was a ham.
wow, beautiful, beautiful woman. I'm
Oh,
showing a
yes.
picture of her right now as we speak because I was taken with her pictures and I thought, oh, I guess she was an actress, but is that where you got your love of dancing? Because you ended up
Yes.
dancing, was your mom doing the choreography? Now, if you ended up, you were one of the dancers for the Ronettes, tell us about that experience.
Well, I was sent over to the Moulin Rouge, which was called, I guess, it turned out to be the Aquarius Theater. And I was dancing with them in the background. And then I did also some stuff with Nancy Sinatra. And then I also danced in Blue Hawaii with Elvis Presley.
Oh, wow.
So
That must have been something. What was he like?
he was gorgeous and he was handsome. He was down to earth, great sense of humor. I mean, this is when, I was like 13, 14 years old when I did
Oh,
over at Paramount.
wow. Gosh,
Yeah.
Paramount was a really great studio. When I first came to California, I took the tour. I ended up on a VIP tour because of something that had happened over at Dr. Phil's show. I didn't get in, so they gave me a pass for a VIP tour. I said, okay, I'll take that. And, and the guy gets out of he stands there and he goes, because there's like 6 or 8 people, however many is in this cart, or so there's this people, and he gets out and he goes, now you see those gates, because he was talking about the big black wrought iron Paramount gate.
Yeah.
And he goes, it's said that if you really want to do something in this industry and you go shake those gates, you're going to get your wish. Well, I looked at everybody and nobody was moving. Well, I jumped down in that cart and I grabbed onto those gates and I started shaking them for dear life. But I was proud of myself that I did that because I was a member of Women in Film for several years and we used to have our Women in Film breakfasts there. And
Uh-huh.
after 9/11, they stopped that.
Oh,
But didn't you love the backlots? I bet you spent a lot of time because they have the New York City backlots there and everything.
yeah, yeah. And just in the last few years, I've gone to his show, Dr. Phil, just to sit in the audience because I had nothing else to do, and I enjoyed it, except it was freezing. Oh, he keeps
I know.
freezing.
I know. I did actually get to go there about 3 shows, and it was so cold. It was like unbelievable. And I was one time he was doing a promo when he sat right next to me in the audience to do a promo, and that was exciting.
Oh, yeah.
How many years has his show been on?
Long time. And I don't know why
Years.
they keep their set so cold, but the coldest set I've ever been on is Bill Maher. Oh my God, you have to,
Really?
yeah,
Bill Mars is colder.
very cold.
Wow. He's been hiding. I can't wait to see what he has to say when he comes out of
Oh,
wherever
I
he is.
love him. I love him.
He's one of my favorites because he was the first one who said the same thing I did. Donald Trump isn't leaving, and people were horrified that he said that, but he hit that. Wow.
Thinking,
So So what are the some of the other, now you said Warner Brothers, which I live really right across the street from this end of their lot, the lot that's, by the shopping center, but I did take their tour. So did you spend a lot of time at Warner Brothers?
Yeah, as I said, I used to go see Sugarfoot all the time, and then my mother had a friend who worked there. I always wanted to hang out at studios. I swear to God, I just wanted to sit there. But my mother worked at Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
She worked at Warner Brothers, and she had her home at MGM.
yeah.
And she worked at Columbia, Universal, Paramount. She worked all over the place.
Did she have a favorite studio?
MGM. That was her.
MGM.
She was put under contract at 14 years old, and she broke her contract at age 30.
Is MGM still around?
No, no.
They disbanded.
Yeah, that was in Culver City. But
I was
see, my
gonna
mother,
say, yeah.
yeah, my mother was from Canada. So when she came out here, she lied about her age. So she only went to the ninth grade, and then she got her contract at MGM at 14. Did
Wow.
Wizard of Oz at 21.
Wow, that is amazing. My goodness, I'm loving that. So now you also, if you had to pick, let me ask you this. This might be putting you on the spot, but I know you told us about Sammy Davis Jr. What is your next favorite memory to that?
Well, I have to say, when I was 16, having Mick Jagger come over to my house.
What?
Yeah, I had a girlfriend, and she calls me up and she says, "Oh, I want to bring a friend over, and he has a friend, but he doesn't want to be seen. Do you know anybody that has a swimming pool?" I said, "Who are you bringing over?" She says, "I'm not going to tell you." I opened
Wow.
the door and I almost fainted. This was the day of,
Oh my God.
and he came and sat on the couch, and the first thing he said to me was, "Do you have a nail cutter? My toenails are too long."
What did you do? Bite them off with your teeth?
Yeah. And it's so funny. My mom was in the kitchen, and I said, "Mom, come on out and meet Mick." My mother loved the Stones. My mother was very cool. And so I spent the whole afternoon with him up in Malibu at a girlfriend's house.
What did he talk about? Tell me some of the what does Mick Jagger talk about when he's sitting around in somebody's house in Malibu?
Well, we're sitting around the pool. He said he was tired. He just wanted to relax. That's why he wanted to go to someone's house with a pool. He didn't want to go to the beach. He was very down to earth. And I believe the guy he brought with him was a drummer for Bob Dylan. I think it was Bob Dylan.
Wow.
So
Oh
that
my
was
God.
exciting at 16 to meet Mick Jagger.
Of course it was. I'm excited at 72 just hearing that you have him in your living room.
He's still one of my favorites. I love him.
Wow. Well, what are some others that you met?
Oh, I have met so many. I'm trying to think. Well, we said Fred Astaire. We said Ann Miller. Of course, Eleanor Powell, who was my mother's dearest friend.
Wow.
And I always tell this story that Eleanor Powell never missed my mom's birthday. So what she would do is send flowers every year. But when my mom got the flowers the last birthday, she had already passed away, but she'd already ordered the flowers.
That must have been a very touching moment for your mother.
Oh, my mom broke down because I had been with Eleanor many times. We would go to the theater together. And she was just wonderful. She was really I'd say my mother's best friend.
Wow. That's amazing. That is unbelievable. And I was thinking about the Ronette songs because Be My Baby, oh my God, that was one of my favorites.
I love that song. And then I remember we were in Canada, we were in Vancouver, and Mitzi Gaynor was appearing at one of the clubs. So we went and spent the whole evening with her. She was wonderful.
Wow. Wow. Well, I know that you said you're going to be doing your Zoom show again, starting up. Are you gonna change the name or continue with LA?
No, I think maybe I'll do Malibu Jodie.
Oh, I like that.
You like that?
I like that, Malibu Jodie. So
yeah, I just have to learn. I have to
things, go to Google and Google it. How do I use Zoom? You get these tutorials that are right on, and then you can pause it. Write down the instruction you want, because Zoom, I'll tell you, Jodie, I was never a technical person, but Zoom is really set up for people to do this. What you're seeing now is me I'm actually in front of a green screen, and this is a picture, and you can put yourself anywhere that you want to.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. and you can use your computer camera, or I have an external. I was watching your interview I saw with Paul Peterson.
Uh-huh.
He was always a favorite of mine. So, because I
He's
was,
great.
yeah. So if people want to, they can
Uh-huh.
certainly go on YouTube. You have all your videos up there. Do you have a
Oh,
video?
I have about 40 more that I haven't put up yet.
Oh, well, do you have a regular YouTube channel?
Yes.
What is the name of your YouTube channel? Because I'll
I
put
think
that.
it's jodiecarn.com. I think it's been a long time since I've done it.
Okay. Well, it's
And
probably
I
YouTube and
did some time ago.
slash Jodie Carn. So what I'll do is I'll put this up, because I would strongly encourage everyone to go look at her wonderful videos and talk shows she had, and leave comments and encourage her to get her new show up. Let's support Jodie in getting up her Zoom show.
Yes.
And Jodie, thank you so much for being a guest. I have loved this, and we're going to have to do it again.
Well, thank you.
If I can support you in any way to help you with your Zoom show, please email me, let me know, and I'll be glad to help you.
Oh, I appreciate that. And then when things get better, we don't live far away from each other.
That's right. And I'll come visit you in Malibu, because I would love an excuse to go out to the beach.
Okay, you got it. You got
Okay,
it.
well, take care, stay healthy, stay safe. And I love you. It's wonderful to know you, and thank you. And everybody, what we always say is support your immune system, because there's only one per customer.
That's right.
Okay, bye, Jodie. I'll see you again soon.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye.
Bye.